Sporting Clay's shotguns have changed over time. Once upon a time, 28-inch fast-handling, flat-shooting guns were the order of the day. But luckily, things change. Today, I'm looking at a gun that embodies a lot of what is leading the field of clay gun fashion in 2023.
This is an Invictus Multisport. It's a £5,500 all-round clay gun. I saw one a few months ago and finally I've got one for review. Before we look in the studio, let's shoot it. First impressions are that this is my kind of gun. I like the Invictus actually. It's bigger, it's heavier, it's well engineered, and engineering does turn me on. It's got the Ascent style stocks, it's got a bit of Monte Carlo. I like that. It's got a big palm swell, but it's still thin in the neck, so you can still get a hold of it. I could admit to being a fan of that. What a lovely thing. I love the little tramline rib. I mean, I didn't miss with it, which is a good start. Before we shoot it some more, let's go to the studio and rip it apart. So what do you get for £5,500? And we'll get into whether I think that this gun is worth that at some point in a moment. Given that I have now shot it, and what you're about to see after we're looking at it, you'll see that I massively approve. You get a piece of wood. The piece of wood is nice. Right at the back of the piece of wood you have a pad. It's the standard Guerini pad, nice, slippy. It seemed to reduce recoil well enough. I didn't feel beaten up by the gun, but it does weigh 8 pounds 8. I mean, that's about right for a competition gun nowadays. It's always, in my head, I still think that it's like 2010, 2012, and competition guns breaking 8 pounds is like a bit, whoa. You have a balance point bang in the center, and that is aided by this large piece of wood on the back. It is the Ascent stock or Ascent style stock. You have adjustable comb and a Monte Carlo. I like it. I think a lot of people, or a lot of gun manufacturers, are going in this sort of direction, given that most modern targets and most sporting clays guns now really don't need to be shooting much above 45 degrees. We're playing a lot more below our feet, a lot more on the floor, a lot more with tight, funny angles, generally speaking. I remember shooting clays as a kid, everything would be thrown up there in like that classic English sporting style, but you don't see that so much anymore. I guess a lot of that's to do with space as well as light and fairness and, you know, all those silly things. The wood is of a particularly nice grade, and as with every single Guerini, it's beautiful, isn't it? Like, there's nothing you can say about Guerini wood. They pick nice pieces, they finish it exceptionally. They then laser checker it, and they add these little teardrops into the checkering. It's surprisingly nice for laser checkering, actually. It's good, it's sharp, and it covers that big pistol grip and palm swell nicely. One of the things I do like about this gun, and I don't know if you can see it, is that you have quite a thin neck there. So as much as the bottom of your hand is full, your top fingers can still really easily get around the neck. And you see with a lot of guns, they're just a bit too bulbous, so your whole hand just seems a little bit like full, and nobody wants a full hand. Hands are naturally supposed to go down to a smaller size, right? So it just feels better when you can actually work around the top of the gun, but the bottom fills your palm. It's called a palm swell, not a hand swell. And I think that they've done a great job. The Invictus one is laser engraved. It's a nice pattern. You've got nice borders, you've got plain bits, you've got acanthus, you've got nice laser repeating circle patterns and a little bit on the top lever and a bit of grip on the top lever. There's nothing to hate about it. You can see what it looks like and you can make your own mind up. I love the Invictus 3. That does things for me. It's a nice looking gun, but no one's gonna write epic poetry about it. And that's why it's the grade 1, not the grade 3, 5 or 9. On the top here you have a safety catch. It is manual with a selector. I always like the Guerini safety catch. It's for a safety catch with a selector. They do a really nice job of actually just making it look a little bit more elegant than some of the others. It's super low profile. It fits the hand nice. You've got a slight convex sort of grind, if you like, on the safety catch there that fits the finger nice. It's a good thing. The trigger is adjustable anywhere up and down, a little cutout rail there. It's handy to have an adjustable trigger. I honestly didn't want to change it. Because of the shape of the grip, you can drop your hand back down there quite nicely. I maybe should have moved it further forward, but I didn't, and I shot it well. I think, again, if you're looking for perfection, then why not? But I shot this gun well, and nothing felt particularly wrong. Moving into the forend before we talk about the technical specifications of the Invictus action, which we have covered in the past, but we're going to run over quickly. It's a push button forend at the top there, and it's a beaver tail shape. It's quite nice. It's not too bulbous, a beaver tail. You know, when I think beaver tail, I always think back to the sort of Brownings that are 6 inches wide. This is nice, it's modern, fits well in the hand. And you have the little disc in there, which allows you to keep this gun feeling perpetually tight. Come have a look. This little screw with the red paint around it that you can see increases and decreases the pressure of this bar on the loop of the gun. And that basically allows you to adjust the pressure of the metal between here and there, and that allows you to adjust the feeling of tightness when you open and close the gun. If you're like me, you want a gun to slop open. Some people like it to feel newer. I don't particularly care. As long as it's tight when it's closed, what more could a boy possibly want? But it is a really nice feature. Given that when you shoot the gun, this is one of the first things to sort of wear. It's nice to be able to just keep it tight, keep the gun feeling fresh, or be able to make the gun feel fresh, like that. The barrels are 32 inches long on this particular model. They have a tapered top rib with double bead sight and a tiny tram line down the middle. I love that tiny tram line. Out of all of the rib sort of styles, that one always appeals to me. And it just helps you sort of laser focus in down the middle whilst having enough width for it to be good. The double bead sight, I mean, usually they bother me a bit, didn't even notice them. Again, my eye was kind of distracted by the line down the middle and the fact that the gun just felt like it looked where I was looking, which is nice. They're 32 inches long, multi-choke, come with 8 external chokes in the box. They have this kind of Damascus finish on the flats of the barrel monoblock there. That's kind of cool. It's a good way of holding oil. And given that if you have perfectly polished flats, they're going to tarnish at some point very quickly anyway, it's better to have this, or it's better to have something. You have these replaceable parts here. That is part of what makes an Invictus great. Instead of having hinges on the gun and hooks on the action, they have the hinge on the action, a hinge on the barrel and the hook on the action with an Invictus. These are interchangeable, they are very large. It allows, again, a large surface area. In fact, this gun is all about surface area lockup, which is nice. You have these drawers at the back. They drop down behind that golden block in there, and then it all locks up with one big bottom bite. But it doesn't all lock up with one big bottom bite. All of this is bearing surface when you pull the trigger, and all of this bears the brunt of the recoil. What that does allow you is the Invictus action to last a very, very long time. And even when it starts to wear, all of these individual parts are replaceable for oversizes, which is convenient and clever for anyone putting high volume through a gun. I love my Maruku. I love a lot of my guns, in fact, but the ones I love the most, I suppose, or will love the most in the future, are the ones that are easy to fix when they start wearing out, easy to get replacement parts for, easy to get back on the road when they're worn. Because as much as it's nice and romantic to have things that are handmade and artisanal, modern machining has its perks. Let's get back to the shooting ground. That is why you use 6.5s, because a 60-yard looper just turns into nothingness. Just feels good. And I know it's perhaps unnecessary for this A-bird, but I quite like vaporizing that too when I can hit it. I mean, I hit that looper every time. I miss one of the 3 MIDI crosses. Let's shoot them as a true pair. I feel like this gun can do anything, so let's continue to push its ability. And I'm positive about most things, but it's probably the best Guerini I've ever shot. I think I'm confident saying that. It is the best Guerini I've ever shot. I'm proud of that. I am proud of that. However, I reckon I can break that second one more convincingly. I put a light full and an improved mod in there, which is more choke than I usually run. Hey, we're happy. I shot the first pair the wrong way. I didn't even get a shot of the looper by the time you killed that first. You do need to kill that second late, at which point that's a long way and edgy, and it's sort of curling off. It's a quick shot, but it has to be precise. That first one is just see it start in front and big push. He says, let's do it again. That first shot was unbelievably good. Like, I couldn't make a better shot if I tried, and I'm out of ammunition. Guys, I have thoroughly enjoyed shooting this Invictus 1 Multisport. When I first saw it at the Pro 1 Challenge, I thought, that's a bit of me. and coming around and shooting 100 rounds through it, this gun is a bit of me. Yeah, I'm comfortable saying this is the best Guerini I've ever shot. It's exceptionally good at all things clay movie. It moves well, shoots well, recoils low. For me, that little bit of Monte Carlo just helps. Does what it's told all the time. Great all-rounder. Thanks for watching, guys. I'd love to know your thoughts. I think that's a winner.
Thank you for watching, guys. This channel is made possible by our amazing sponsors. You can find out more about them in the description down below. And if you want to support the channel, you can join as a member. You get loads of extra content, well, some extra content, and occasionally we hook up and go clay shooting together as a membership group. If you don't feel like joining today, we really appreciate you watching and subscribing. Have a wonderful day.